Man, I am excited today, folks. You know, we showed up a day early, we got our camp spot, but I'm excited because we're at Alamo Lake. I don't get to fish this lake very often, but when I do, we'll have a lot of fun here. One of my favorite parts about this lake is you got great campsites here. We've got our motorhome here, we're set to go. I got my rods ready to go. I don't know what these fish are doing, but I can tell you right now, we're in post-spawn season. And it's beautiful out. It's supposed to be 103 degrees tomorrow. Yeah, a little hotter than what I'm used to from the White Mountains, but I'll tell you this much, we're gonna have everything ready to go. And I don't know what these fish are doing, but I'm excited. I'm gonna cook a steak out tonight. We're gonna have some fun and get out on the water tomorrow and see what's going on for you. Hopefully, it's gonna be a great show and we're gonna have a lot of fun. I think you're gonna enjoy Alamo Lake. Got him. Got him. He came out of there, little guy. Look at a little spinnerbait bass. Now that's a little dude. Look at that. That's the first of yet a lot to come. Look at that. That spinnerbait's probably bigger than the fish is. Folks, today we're at Alamo Lake and just showed up and got here last night actually, and I was looking at the lake and I'm like, man, let's try a spinnerbait. First thing in the morning, post-spawn, a lot of fish, maybe chasing some shad now or something. We'll give it a shot. I like to get up in the brush. I'm throwing a spinnerbait. How much better can it be? You know, this kind of stuff right through here, if they're chasing, you can bring a spinnerbait through this so nicely, and it's a lot of fun. And a lot of times you can catch the fish. And what I love about the spinnerbait is with this clothespin effect like that, makes it pretty weedless. So what makes it really nice is bringing it through. You can throw right in the middle of some of these brush piles right here and bring it right over top of them. Bring it right through there and see what we get. You know, I don't come to this lake a whole lot, and I've been successful on this lake in tournaments in the years past, but as far as being here a lot, I haven't been here a lot. So I'm gonna take something and just kind of cruise down the areas here and see if I can catch some fish. This kind of caught my eye because it's the middle of the lake. It's real shallow in here. It's 5 foot of water. We have some lay down logs, and I'm gonna just cover this water out to this point a little bit. And if I don't get what I want, then I'm gonna head over to the bank and start working the trees over there. So I just don't think this is as pressured. And we'll see if we can get some of these fish to come up and eat. Maybe there'll be some big ones in here. Some post spawners. I'm throwing that chartreuse color only because I want it to look like a bluegill. There's one. Oh, I lost him. He got me wrapped around the bush. Look at that. Hey, we might have a pretty good day today. That was a quick deal. There's one, little guy. All right, we found the little guys. There's one right there, a little guy, slow rolling that spinnerbait. You know, this time of year, what happens is when these fish go into post-spawn like this, your big females will come out, they'll rest a little bit, but then also, you'll have your males come out here and they'll hit these bushes right here to watch their fry, and they protect them, so you'll catch a lot of those guys. And that's what I think we're doing in here, because I'm seeing some little blips by the trees. Right here you can see by the stump, the little blips, those are little fry is what those are. That's not shad, that's fry from a spawn. So if you throw in there, if something's watching those fish, they'll go up in there. Like right there, you just saw something bust, something went in there after it. Got him. That's a little bit better fish, see? That's a protector probably. We'll let it go. But it's that simple. Come on, dude. Not a big fish, but a fun fish. You know, today's arsenal of choice for me is a 3/8 ounce Persuader spinnerbait. And it's got the E-chip in it. That little dude there, I put a little Bass Pro 5-inch grub. I cut the grub off a little bit because I have to leave room for that E-chip. That E-chip is a little knocker in there. When you bump it off trees and things like that, it puts off a sound that attract the fish, and they just nail it. I'll tell you, exactly what I was talking about just happened. You throw out there next to one of these bushes and you're gonna catch some of those fry garters for sure. Oh, he hit it right there at the boat. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Folks, you just can't beat this kind of fishing. It's a lot of fun. Look at that spinnerbait bass. Little spinnerbait bass. Boy, that's a little spinnerbait bass, let me tell you. You know, it's so funny because I just got back from Clear Lake, California on a big tournament to where you had to have 20 pounds a day to make a check. I'm catching 19 and 18 and 17 pounds a day, and that's a 3-pound average for a 5-fish limit. And I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm catching some big fish and can't even make a check. You come out here to Alamo Lake and catch a bunch of wrestling. It's weird. Every lake's different. Oh, it's every cast almost, man. See, this place hasn't been hammered out here. A lot of guys go right to the shoreline. And a lot of times if you find areas like this, that was a better fish out there. You find areas like this that don't have a lot of fishermen, because there's a lot of fishermen on the lake today. We had to park a long ways to get anywhere. But if you find an area that a lot of fishermen aren't fishing, a lot of times you'll get rewarded. They're really biting. There's one. There's one. Little guy. Boy, you can catch a ton of these right now throwing a spinnerbait. You know, one of the reasons I'm throwing that little grub trailer on there is because, make sure I get that right, because when I bring it by a tree and I let it flutter down a little bit, I love that little tail action, like even a bluegill swimming or something, and they just crush that bait. And on top of that, I'm throwing a gold and silver pattern blade right now. Now you could probably get away with white. You know, I wasn't quite sure what the water clarity was gonna be out here. Normally it's kind of dirty or dingy. So white and chartreuse is always a good go-to color when you have a little off-colored water. So I went with a white and chartreuse blade, and he nicked me up pretty good, so we'll have to retie. But that's the ticket right there, a little 3/8 ounce persuader spinnerbait. And that little dude, that little head looks good. Skirts are awesome. Heavy duty blade, light wire. That way you get more thump out of the blades. Willow leaf have a tendency to have more flash to them. And with more flash, you don't get near the thump. So if you get a light wire spinnerbait, you get more thump. I think they like in this shallow water. Oh, that's a better fish. That's a better fish right there. Now that's a little bit, now that's the kind of fish I want to catch on a regular basis and then catch a big one. Look at that, folks. Come on, son. That's a little bit bigger fish. Alamo Lake bass. That's a spinnerbait bass. Look how skinny he is. Wow. They're out there feeding on them shad and watching fry. You know, there's a lot of shad in the area. When the shad spawn starts happening, what happens is these shad, they like hard rock a lot of times to spawn on and stuff, but they get out here in the middle of these cuts like this and get on these trees and around the tree line, the edges, and they'll get right around the dead wood like this, start blipping. Bass will hang right out underneath that wood and just come up and blast them, and they love that. That's where that spinnerbait comes in handy. So you've got two things happening right now. It's hard to tell. A fish just blasted right there. Fish just blasted right there. So anyways, you have fry that'll get in some of this brush from the spawn, and then you also have the shad spawn going on. So you got a couple of different things going on, and either way, you can catch fish by the brush. If you're not in it, you're not catching them. You know, let's talk a little bit about the rod, reel, and line setup for the spinnerbait that I like. I like a 17-pound XPS fluorocarbon line. That's Bass Pro Shops line. That's what I use. I'm using a Taipan medium heavy 7.2, 723 medium heavy fast action rod. And I'll tell you what, this is the perfect spinnerbait rod for me. I love it. Okay. And then I've teamed that up, of course, with the Johnny Morris Signature Series reel bait cast 6.2 to 1, and it's perfect. And this particular setup right here is basically what you need. You don't want to be throwing a spinnerbait and try to get that big old gnarly hook through a fish with 8 or 10 pound test line. So you're going to need heavier line. And so, you know, I don't recommend really anything under 14 pound when you're doing this kind of fishing, unless you got a real thin hook on a spinnerbait, smaller spinnerbait. My light wire spinnerbait here, they will tear these things up. Let me tell you, he is flat tore up my little spinnerbait here. Now, you can see how the knot came sliding up that light wire. A lot of times you got to adjust these things, and they're meant to do that. I mean, you're going to have to adjust your spinnerbait a lot of times. Just make sure that you tune it and make sure that those blades are right over top of the hook. Really important to do that. So when I'm looking at this straight, I want to make sure that those blades are right over top of the hook. And if they're not, and they're over one side or the other, your bait will roll when you reel it in. So you want to make sure that it doesn't do that. I'm going to retie. You got to retie frequently when your knots start sliding up and down the spinnerbait. Got him. Got him. That right there happens to be a little bit different spinnerbait that I'm throwing right now, and he choked it. There you go, buddy. He choked it. Okay. We started working our way back and back into the river a little bit farther on a trolling motor. Got a little bit shallower, but the one thing that I did notice is the water got a lot muddier. You can't see nearly as well down there. And when that happens, I can see maybe a foot. When that happens, I'm gonna switch my blades. Now I'm gonna go to a Colorado blade. Remember, you get maximum flash with the double willow blades. With the Colorado blade, I get maximum vibration. Bass use their lateral lines a lot of times to feel that vibration, to hone in on their prey and catch them. And so with this vibration, with this Colorado blade, it'll thump so hard, it gives a great vibration with this light wire, still using the persuader, same color spinnerbait, same everything except for a blade change, okay? And so I can let it flutter down, it'll fall just like this, it'll thump on the way down, but I can still bring it by these brush piles, the fish will feel it and boom, just react to it. And when you get in a little bit dingier water, a lot of times, and a lot of people don't go to it, you know, what's so funny about spinnerbaits, I grew up throwing spinnerbaits, and I've almost exclusively used to throw nothing but a Colorado blade until I realized the power of the flash in clear water. But I never forgot how much better my single Colorado blade worked or my double Colorado blade worked in dirty water versus the double willows. You get that vibration, a lot more vibration with that Colorado blade in that muddy water, and it'll help you keep catching fish. Oh, look at that, a big old crappie. Are you kidding me, on a spinnerbait? Oh, I lost him. Big old paper mouth. Let me tell you something, folks. These guys here are grebes. These guys are your friends when you're looking for shad, you're looking for feeding fish, and they're diving. They're down there diving. There's life here. So when you're going down a lake, even a lake you don't know, and you see these guys hanging out in the shallows like that, or hanging out in an area diving for the shad, you know there's shad in the area, which means there's predator fish in there, your bass and all that good stuff. So you don't want to discount that. I stopped because I saw them moving around. I see a gray herring up there, and he just got himself a shad, so we're going to fish this area a little bit. Got up into a little bit clearer water. It's not like ultra clear. We got some stain to it, which is perfect for a spinnerbait. See if we can't catch some of those fish that might be feeding on some of them shad in there. Oh, there's a good one. That's a little bit better fish there, folks. I let it flutter down a little farther. Come on. Look at that fish, folks. Now that's what we're looking for right there. That's a nice Alamo Lake bass. Come on, buddy. Come on. Oh, I can't get my finger in your mouth. There we go. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, son. There you have it. Ooh, you almost got away from me. These kind of fish you'll find when you find all these shad, you get in a little bit of some harsher trees and things like that. That's good. That's good. All right, now what I did on that, and he tore up my trailer, so I'm gonna replace the trailer, but what I did on that was just threw out there, and because I hit the trees there, I just let it flutter down. Now the thing is a lot of times when you get in these shad, you don't have to speed reel. You just slow roll your bait through there, and boy, they'll thunk it. You know, they'll just crush it right in there. There's a lot of fish in there. We got to get back out there. Catching some better quality fish now. Got that one right off that bush. Folks, not a great fish, but still a little bit bigger fish. Don't be afraid to throw these right in the bushes, man. Just flip them right in there and let them flutter down. You'll catch a little bit bigger fish and catch them in there. You know, Alamo Lake, fun lake, love the lake, and had a good time with spinnerbaits today. I'll tell you what, you can get out there and catch a lot of fish on these little dudes. And for one little last tip, make sure when you put your grub trailer on that you make sure that your trailer is facing down from the hook. That way when it ripples out, it'll do that. If you face it the other way, a lot of times when you cast it, the tip of the grub will always get hooked up on the hook, and it always gets hooked up. So face it down, you're good to go, and you're gonna catch some fish on that bait. That persuader bait today really caught them. Get the Colorado blade for the muddy water, get those tandem willows going for, those double willows going for the clear water, and you'll have a great time. Thanks for joining us on the show right here at Alamo. I'm Johnny Johnson. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, folks.